Hello and welcome back to the channel, Cali Legends Media. Thanks to all the subscribers. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate each and every one of you. And don't forget to hit that like and that hype button. It really helps the videos move through the algorithm. And it doesn't cost a dime, but it's very beneficial to us. So I'd appreciate it. Okay, so this morning, Gunner made a video, okay? This is kind of a reaction video, a response video to the content that he spoke on, okay? There's no hatred, there's no financial gain. If you wanna count financial gain, I'll probably get $6 for this video. Yeah. Anyways, the reason why I sometimes do response videos, it's not because I hate the person, it's not because I don't like the person. Sometimes I don't know the person, which in this case, I don't know these Dubs or Gunner. But sometimes they say things that, like in this case, I don't think Gunner really realized what he's saying, and what the real problem was with the video that he did when the word first came out about the homie passing. Okay, now the first video I seen was from Slugs. I think Slugs did an excellent job of giving his condolences to the family. He did it in a caring, loving way. And you could tell that Slugs was somewhat shaken by what he found out, I don't know what his and the homie's situation, relationship was, but apparently it was something to him, and it meant something to him based on how careful he was about doing his video. And one thing that Slugs didn't do was mention how the homie passed, okay? And like he said, it wasn't his position to speak on that. That would have to come from the family or from someone else, which they did speak out. And based on what was said on Josh's channel, was that the homie passed for medical complications, okay? Now, I watched Dubs and Gunner's video directly after watching Slugs. So I seen Slugs and like, man, I can't believe this shit. So I start clicking, and about two videos down was Gunner. And Gunner took off, and what he said, in my opinion, the way I was brought up, talked about things that he shouldn't have talked about, basically, in my opinion. Now, in his opinion, he's going to do what he does, and nobody's going to dictate his program, and nobody can, okay? But sometimes you got to use some discretion that you may not possess, okay? So this video here is just a little, hopefully an eye-opener, and should be applied across the board in any situation when it comes to somebody losing a family member to the type of demise that Gunner described, okay? And he went into detail on a whole scenario on how it went down and everything, And then he said he brought up something that had to do with this other guy, Renegade Media, okay? Which was impertinent. It was just off the wall. It had nothing to do with wishing the homeboy's family his condolences and saying his goodbye, because that's what most of the content creators did. But once he let that out on social media, it caught fire, and everybody was talking about that, how his demise came about, which from allegedly from the family side was not true. Now, Gunner's video today kind of like insinuated that we're gonna see later on what really went down, and then we're all gonna see, and it's gonna change the situation. Okay, whatever the situation was or was nobody's business, from the gate, regardless what the cause was, unless it was okay by the family to speak on that. People don't like to talk about things like ODs or what they were saying happened. That's usually kept on the DL, right? Especially because he has kids, And I hear Gunner use the word respect over and over, and respect for the kids and all this. And I didn't see it that day. When I seen that video, man, it blew my hair back, man. I was like, what? Even if it was true, like, how could he say that? Like, why would he put that out there? And sure enough, a bunch of people ran with it, and that became the narrative until I believe it was the mom, possibly, that came out and said, "Hey, my son didn't do that. He was. I was with him in the hospital when he passed. And I'm glad she was able to come out and clear that up. And the fact that people were actually attentive, to anything that came out about the homie, and put the text out there. There was also a recording of the mom talking about Josh and stuff. And I'm not sure if it was her or Slugs, but one of them mentioned that the mom asked that whatever people mention on YouTube, that just be respectable, Now, all kinds of things came up. Josh called me, 2 times a week, and he, he told us about this and that, and it was I don't think Dubs and Gunner realized how serious it was, because it was. You don't do that, I don't know, they should know better. But Dubs, I kind of like, I give more leeway because he spent most of his time incarcerated. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a lot of experience out here, But nevertheless, I think it would be common sense that you just don't mention things like that. You know what I mean? That's personal stuff, and if it comes out later, like Nate Dogg even said, at least wait until the autopsy report comes out or something, don't just run with something that somebody said. Gunner brings up that Nate Dogg went on their live, and like it was some type of sign of approval of what they were doing or what they did. And I think it was more, he was more on there for damage control and to speak differently about the homie and share his opinions, because Nate Dogg is someone that's qualified to they were very good friends. They helped each other through a lot of stuff. If you don't know it, they were like family, but I think it was just a couple of days after Gunner and Dubs and Renegade Media did their videos that they were asked to take them down. I'm not sure if it was Gunner or Dubs, but it was one of them that came out and said, well, the family wants us all to take down our videos. And no, they didn't want everybody to take down their videos. They wanted them to take down their videos, because of what they were putting out there. Although it was too late, once it came out, like I said, it caught on like wildfire. It's not that Gunner was lying about what he was saying or his relationship with Josh. Just the fact that he came out and he blurted that out, and it wasn't his place to do that, you know. And he, even to the point where he was asked to take his video down, you know. And all of the comments that he's getting regarding his performance on that video, it's got to count for something, you know what I mean? Like, everybody can't be wrong, you know. They might feel differently. There might be people who feel differently, but, you know, I don't think everybody could be wrong about what we're talking about and what we feel about how those first videos went down, you know. And even now it's like, oh yeah, you know, we've collected this much money for the homie and this and that. All you need to do is put the GoFundMe address, and it's the viewers that are gonna make the difference, not you, not Dubs. It's gonna be the viewers. So really what you did was you may have gotten that information out to enough viewers to raise a couple of $100 at this point, which is a good thing. But to like make it all about you and what you're doing and what you did and what you said and stuff, that's pretty selfish, you know what I mean? I think a lot of Gunner's problem is just the things that he says, you know, and then when he's confronted, his response, you know, his response is doesn't do any good for him. It doesn't help him at all. It just makes it worse, you know, and he doesn't care because he has a lot of viewers. If he didn't have so many viewers, he'd be more careful and pay more attention to what they're saying in the comment section. Because I know when I first came out and I would hear things in the comment section, I'd make adjustments in my behavior, you know, and what I let come out of my mouth, you know. You know, different people explain different things to me and what it appeared to them, you know, what I did, how it appeared to them. And I considered what they said and thought about it, and I made adjustments accordingly. But like Gunner says, he's going to do what he does, and he's going to keep on doing it, and he don't care what anybody says. That's too bad, you know, because in this case, you were mistaken, you know, and you said what you said. The very least you could do was apologize to the family, you know. You know, I was asked by the family to take down the video. You know, I apologize if I've offended them or any of my viewers. I was touched at the moment and affected a certain way, and I shouldn't have shared certain things. But whatever your reason, but I just like to apologize. No apology, nothing. All you try to do is justify what people are saying the problem was, you know. And like I said, it's not the fact that, oh yeah, Gunner's a liar, he's lying about this, he's lying about, no, it's the fact that you just came out and blurted that shit out on social media, you know. And I think most people know you don't talk about stuff like that, you know. That's why families sometimes they don't even tell anybody the truth about why the person passed away. They don't want that that scenario hanging over their loved one, you know. And I think, in my opinion, I think you were wrong, Gunner, for doing that. And of course, that would include Dubs and include Dumbass, Renegade Media, you know. Yeah, it was an opportunity to throw him a stone, but at whose expense? You know what I mean? Anyways, it is what it is, you know. I watched that video today, Gunner, and all I seen was a person that was just making excuses, you know. could have just apologized. You know, people sometimes say things that they shouldn't say. You know, that's just the way it is. And then you're on social media, so it's gonna happen. You know, and has happened more than once. You know, nobody's perfect. Nobody's 100%. Yeah, you got the views, you got the, you know, the crown, but what good is it if you're hurting people? You know, making people feel bad. You know, on one side of your mouth, you're saying how you want to protect the kids, and it's about the kids, and on the other side, you throw total disregard to the entire family, and say what you said. You know. But anyways, there's been a couple of jackasses that have said things that are unbelievable, you know, and inappropriate with what they said. You know, Pocho was one of them, and I, you know, anybody who missed it, I put it out there so people could understand the type of individual that he is. You know, because it says everything about a person. You know. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. That's it. You know, I just wanted to get that last thing off my chest. Actually, from the time that he had said it, it was on my mind. But I have so much things going on in my life right now. It just took me a while to get to it. But I'm glad, because I was able to hear other people's feelings about it, and they agreed with mine and with my assessment of what took place that day, you know. And I see it now kind of calming down, thanks to the mom putting out that text message, and the homies that have stepped forward and brought that message out, rather than say, oh, well, everybody's going to see later on, it's going to all come out, and like you're going to be justified, you know. Regardless of the reason, it doesn't matter. We lost a good homie, and that's the whole point of all of these videos and stuff. You know, it's not about Dubs, it's not about Gunner, you know. So don't try to make it about yourself or, you know, anything else. You know, it has nothing to do with none of us or you. This is just for Josh. It was all for Josh. You know, all the comments should have been only to get respects, pay homage, and say goodbye to the homie on social media who was very, very valuable to the genre, you know. All right, this is it. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate you guys. Stay safe and help others move in excellence. Especially the little homies. Let's help them do the right thing, make the right moves, so they could be successful in life and not end up in prison or in jail, you know. Thank you. God bless you and your family. I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you very much.